Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is a 2020 model, A2289. Alright, so first thing we're going to use is a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, we got 4 down near the opening and then 2 up near the hinges. Okay, so we're going to remove the screws. You want to keep them all in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, I put them like that, flat side down. In the pattern I remove them, so we have 2 here and then the 4 down there. So that's how I keep track of them. Alright, you don't want to mix them up because, again, if you put the wrong screws in the wrong spot, you can actually damage your computer. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, if you're wondering, these are the longest screws, these are a little bit shorter, and these are the shortest. But again, it's always good to keep them all in order. Alright, we're going to take a screwdriver, suction cup now. I know I'm saying all right a lot of times. You can feel free to say that in the comments. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and pop this up just like this. And then once you get a gap formed, I like to use my fingernails here, and I'll push with my thumb down on this side and pull up with my fingers on this side. I'll use this other hand as well to help and pop it up just like that. We're going to go over to the other side. You don't want to pull it completely out because there are little hooks that go underneath here where the air vents are. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Pop that side up as well. Once you've got both sides up, we're going to turn it around. Get our hand in here, holding onto the panel. Okay, I wrap my fingers over here, and then I'll use my fingers to kind of push down here while kind of holding this up with my other fingers. All right, just like this, and slide that down. As you can see now, this slid down. We're going to go over to the other side and do the same thing, but with our other hand switched around, and pull that down. There we go. Can open this up. Wow, there's a lot of water in here, so we're going to have to dry this up completely, and I don't know if this is going to be salvageable because this looks really bad. But we'll see. I'm gonna first disconnect the battery. That's the most important thing. You don't want power still into the computer while there's liquid. So we're gonna peel this up slowly, carefully. Okay. And be careful that it's not peeling up the layer underneath that's gonna pull on this. Okay, so there we go. We got this piece off. Set that aside. Let's go ahead and now disconnect the battery. So we're gonna first peel back this a little bit, and then we're going to flip this latch. All right, and then grab this cable, and we should be able to pull this out. All right, now we're going to use a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and we're going to undo this screw. Okay, once we get that screw out, what we're going to do, we're going to disconnect the battery by lifting this tab up. The computer is probably already toast because of how much liquid damage it has, as you can see. All right, let me actually zoom out here. That's pretty bad, all that green and white powdery looking stuff. All right, we're going to open up the screen. We're going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on, though the liquid probably already caused the thing to completely short itself everywhere, and holding this button's probably not going to do anything at this point, but we're going to do it anyways. All right. There we go. It's been about 15 seconds. We'll close this up. And now we're just going to pretty much dry everything out. So I am going to eventually show how to completely disassemble this, but I have some errands I need to run. So what I'm doing is I'm going to just make sure no electricity is causing further damage. We're going to dry this out, at least all the surface stuff we can see. Okay, computers actually, with just water, they're not actually damaged by water. The problem is when electricity flows through it, that's what causes the problem. So if you're ever wondering, yeah, it's not so much the water that causes the damage, but the electricity flowing through the circuits when there's water, because the water causes the electricity to go where it shouldn't go, and that's the problem. So if you took all the batteries out and you dunked your computer in water, took it out, made sure it was completely dry, and put it all back together, you'd actually be okay as long as there wasn't electricity flowing through it. But yeah, I wouldn't go ahead and do that just because sometimes there's capacitors here that can be bad. But anyways, what we're going to end up doing, we're going to take the entire motherboard out of here. We're going to use warm water, scrub it down with a toothbrush, And then if you want to dry it more, you can also use rubbing alcohol, but I'm going to use warm water, dry it, use my electric air blower, completely dry it out, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I have some errands to do right now, so I'm just going to make sure any like water I see out here is dried off. So now that the battery's disconnected, it shouldn't really affect it even if I left the water there. Okay, but anyways, yeah, so let me go run my errands real quick and I'll be back, and I'll see you guys. We're going to be disassembling everything in here. We are going to leave the battery intact in place. We'll probably remove the trackpad, but yeah, my customer probably is going to want to see this, so I'll send them some pictures, and I'll see you guys when I get back to disassemble the whole thing. Bye. Alright guys, so I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, so where did I leave off? So we disconnected the battery. Again, we're going to disconnect somewhat just about everything. We're going to get the motherboard out and see what's going on because liquid did spill all over it. Hopefully the computer will work afterwards, after we clean up all the corrosion and residue. Let's go ahead and actually take the speaker out. So there's 3 screws. Actually, should I zoom in here? Okay, again, keep all the screws in order. Sorry, it's been a while since I worked on this, so hopefully I'll remember where I left off. But anyways, we got all this. I didn't really do too much. I think I just disconnected the battery. Alright, again, keep all the screws in order. So you got 3 screws holding the speaker here. Okay, this screw for some reason is stuck, so let's go ahead and actually peel this up. So we have this plastic here. We're going to peel this back, so grab that, peel that back. Alright, and then what we're going to do, flip this latch up, and then hopefully we can kind of pull this back now. We'll grab this and kind of wiggle and pull that, and it is coming out, and there we go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and lift the speaker up. You want to be careful not to damage the cable, so we're just going to lift it out like that. You can look underneath. I don't really see any liquid damage here. There might be some slight, you can see like where there was some residue where it dried up, but that shouldn't affect anything. So we'll set the speaker aside. Alright, next let's actually disconnect this cable here. Okay, so again, we're gonna have to keep track of a lot of screws, so hopefully you guys can put them all in order somewhere and keep them to where you can keep track. Alright, so we're going to get that screw out. We're going to get this screw out. It is a lot of screws, so keep that in mind. If you're going to attempt this, make sure you're going to be able to put them back. I don't know if somebody changed these, but the screw over here was a lot smaller than the one up here. But that looks right because this actually looks different, so I think it should be okay. Alright, we're going to pop this cable up. So I just used my fingernail at a corner, and if it doesn't come out, you kind of want to go on both corners and kind of just wiggle it, and it should, there we go, pop up. I don't know if I'm going to have to remove this stuff over here. I believe these are T3 screws. Yeah. Okay, we might have to eventually remove those. There's also the fan connector here. Let me actually zoom in a bit more. Okay, I'm going to peel underneath here and pull this up. It's just a plastic tab that's taped down. Once you peel that back, you can go ahead and flip this latch up. Okay, and then when you flip that up, this is actually somewhat taped down, so we're going to have to get underneath here. Okay, and kind of lift this slightly. I use my fingernails. You can use plastic tools, whatever works for you, and pull that back. And there we go. So here you can see there was some adhesive there, so you kind of have to lift underneath. Alright, so there's like little hairs here, but I'm scared to use my tweezers to get it out. I don't have plastic ones, so let's try and blow that up. There we go. Alright, it came out. Alright, what else we got? Is this a T5? Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and remove that screw as well. Again, hopefully you guys did do the power drain. That's very important, especially when removing all these components. Let's go ahead and remove this as well. So flip that up, flip that latch. Alright, once you got that latch flipped up, we're going to kind of grab and wiggle this and pull that back. Alright, there's a lot of connectors here. I'm not 100% sure what's what until I kind of move things around and see. but for now, I'm not too sure. All right, we're going to use a T3 or Torx 3, most likely, to remove this. I'm going to check with a T4 just to be safe, because some models Apple likes to, yeah, I think I have to use a T4 for this. It's like, yeah. So these screws here appear to be T4, but these appear to be T3. You want to check yours. Don't just follow along blindly, all right? Because you can damage your screws if you use the wrong size screw or screwdriver. Okay, so it's always a good idea to check like one size up if you're not sure and see if it comes out. You can also check if it's a little bit wobbly. You don't want to continue using that screwdriver. So I'm going to switch over to a T4 or Torx 4 here and remove these screws. I don't know why, but I think it's just this specific model or something, because most of them I've tried and T4 never fits there, but for some reason on this model, I don't know, Apple decided to do something weird and it fits a T4 screwdriver here, but only on those two screws. I don't know why. Alright, then we'll take this metal plate off, and we have to actually remove this because this screen connector here goes underneath the motherboard and attaches there. So if you don't remove that, you'll end up tearing this cable. So very important you disconnect that. Alright, we got this cable here that we gotta peel up. Flip this latch, and then we're gonna pull this connector out. Kind of have to wiggle it a little bit. There's wireless antennas under here that we're gonna have to remove as well, and this can be also quite annoying. I'm going to use this plastic tool to kind of scrape up the adhesive here that's holding it in place. So kind of just nudge underneath at the adhesive and slowly work it up out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to do this gradually, a little bit by bit. You don't want to kind of just do it all at once. You can also use the pokey end to kind of just scrape it along the board to get it up. Okay, just like this, scrape up the adhesive over there, just like this. Okay, slowly working your way up the adhesive, peeling it off. Be careful not to nudge any pieces off the board. Alright, you can see we got that. Alright, we're gonna also nudge this part of the adhesive up. Again, I'm just scraping underneath the adhesive to try and keep it intact so that I don't have to completely tear it off. If you just rip it, you'll probably end up separating the layers of the foam, and then good luck getting that back in. Alright, you don't technically need to remove this last one over here, but I'm going to do it just so I can show you guys the antennas a bit easier, and also so it's not as in the way. Okay, so I'm just kind of poking underneath the adhesive and slowly peeling it up. There we go. Now we'll set that aside. It looks like this. Okay, there's two things that go there, and then this triangular one that goes over here. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to go ahead and remove that. That's a T5 or Torx 5 screw as well. Alright, so we're going to remove this one. Alright. Then we're going to pop the antennas up. The way I do that is I use both fingernails. You can use the plastic tool probably, but I just pull it straight up just like this using my fingernails. Okay, same thing on this side. There we go. We might end up having to take this out, but we'll see. I try and avoid having to take that out because you're going to have to remove a lot of screws. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and pull this up. So peel that back, and then we'll flip this latch as well, and then kind of wiggle and pull that back. Man, there's so many cables in this that are, oh, that plastic tab just came off. Alright, well, that sucks because that means that plastic tab's not going to work for removing that, so we're going to have to use this plastic tool and see if we can use this to remove it. So get underneath and pull that back. Come on. There we go. Alright. Next, we're going to continue working our way over. Hopefully you saw that. Okay, I think so. And I'm going to still use, I think, the T5. Yep. Okay, so we're going to remove that as well. What else we got? I think these are T3, so we're gonna go down here and remove these two screws over here so that we don't have to keep switching screwdrivers so much. I don't know why Apple likes to use all different size screwdrivers. It's very annoying. Okay, we're gonna use that, remove that one as well. Can also remove the speakers. Oops, sorry. Let me get this bit out of the way. And remove the speakers here as well. 2 screws. It's a lot of screws. Okay, we're going to peel up this so that we can disconnect this speaker as well. Flip that latch, grab that, wiggle it, and pull it back. Okay. Come on, there we go. And let's see, can we lift the speaker out now? Can be a little bit tricky because you have to get underneath it. Alright, and then we can lift this up and pull that out. And this rubber piece got stuck in there. Usually that doesn't happen, but I don't know if the moisture or something did that. Now it's going to be a little bit tough to get this back in because, as you can see, this thing falls out. So you have to actually get half of it to go into here. So what I like to do, if this works, let's see, I like to squeeze it in half, get that in. Oh, it won't even focus, sorry. The color's not, I mean, it's too dark, but basically shove that in just like that. And I think that should be, you can see it's a little bit crooked there, so we're going to use like a little pick. You can use the plastic tool here or a needle or whatever and just kind of pull that through. And there we go. Oops, now it's all centered. Okay, so we're going to set that speaker aside. I'm getting a bunch of messages, so I might have to pop off for a bit, but let's go ahead and get these out now. Oops, sorry, these over here. I believe they're all T3 or Torx 3, but I'm going to test it with the T4 just to be safe. Again, Apple likes doing sneaky stuff so that you break your screws and then you're stuck with your computer all jammed up. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and get these screws out. So we got that one, and then we got this one. And if you do this, you want to work somewhat slow, because if you work fast, again, it's easy to accidentally strip the screws. Okay, so there we go, just like that. Hopefully you guys are keeping all the screws in order by putting them in the pattern that you remove them, just like I mentioned. We'll get that metal bracket off. Okay, got the charge port connectors here. We're going to flip that up, move that out of the way. Got these connectors, we're going to flip those up. Okay, just like that. It is held in with an adhesive there, but that's not stuck to the motherboard, so oops, sorry. We're going to flip these two off. Flip them off. Alright, anyways, I think that's all the connector. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. I almost forgot to mention the connectors down here. So there's this. We'll peel that up as well. Flip that latch back and then pull that connector out. Usually you use the tab, but sometimes, I don't know, like you saw, they kind of just break or peel off. So there we go. And then we got this connector here, which is probably for the keyboard. We're going to peel the plastic on top off first. Flip the latch up just like all the rest of them. Okay. And same thing, use that tab to kind of help wiggle and pull it back. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if we can remove the motherboard or logic board now. I'm going to zoom out a bit more so you can kind of see all at once. Slowly, carefully lift. Oh, we forgot the trackpad connector, of course. Is that a T5? Let's see here. Yes, it is. So we're going to switch over to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver again. And we'll remove these two screws. Alright, now that we've gotten that, go ahead and take the metal plate off. Alright, this one's kind of stuck. There we go. And then we're gonna, same thing, I just use my fingernails at the corner edges to pop the connector off. Okay, kind of have to wiggle it, and come on. Wow, why is this holding so strong? There we go. Be careful not to damage this cable. Alright, oh, that doesn't look good. This is like burnt here. So, trackpad connector looks toast. That looks toast. and this looks toast. Cleaning that's definitely not going to work, and it looks like this here is actually burnt. You can see how brown that is, like the different color. So I have a feeling cleaning this up isn't going to solve the problem, and that's going to really suck because this is a 2020 MacBook Pro. It's not even that old. Alright, we're going to wiggle this and lift it up. That's what happens when liquid spills and the computer's still on, or if it's off and you try and turn it on. So you don't want to do that. Alright, we're going to kind of guide this out here and see if we can somehow pop this out. Do I have to remove this as well? It looks like I actually do. So let's go ahead and get these screws out as well. Pretty sure it's a T3 or Torx 3 again. So let's go ahead and get these two screws out. I know it's zoomed out quite a bit, but hopefully you guys will kind of know what's going on. Alright, I'm going to get those two out. And the screw on this side is much shorter. Okay, got that. And are you kidding? They used some bolt thing there. Let's see what size this is. I'm going to guess it's like, no, it's smaller than that. Is it like a 3.0? Okay, it's like this hex 3.0 thingy or something. Alright, we're going to use that and remove this screw. That's annoying. Okay, oh, that screw's like stuck in there now. Okay, so we got that. That's very annoying. Okay, so now we should be able to lift this out. Go. And we got the whole motherboard or logic board out. You can see it's fried on the bottom as well. Okay, that's really gonna suck. I'm gonna try cleaning it up and drying it off. Hopefully the neighbors won't be mad. I think it's like 3 a.m. right now, and that blower is pretty noisy. It's 3:11 a.m. Alright, but yeah, I'm gonna try scrubbing this stuff off and see if it will help. I will also have to clean the one on the trackpad itself, but I don't think that's going to be salvageable. We'll clean up also the residue that's over here. Wow, this looks really bad. I have a feeling it's completely fried, but I mean, we'll try. The customer said they were like turning on and it was like going on and off and on and off, and that's not a good sign. What about this? This looks kind of okay. Let's go ahead and actually take the charge ports out and see if there's any like weird corrosion or anything on it. I'm going to switch back over to the T5, Torx 5, and there's two screws holding this, so let's remove those two screws. And let's take a look. It should, okay, it came out really easily, and this looks actually fine. I don't see any damage there. They look actually nice. There's some white stuff at just on the inside here, but that shouldn't affect anything. Let me actually just brush them off just to clean the dust off of it, but they look good. Okay, so those look fine. Alright, so we're gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna clean this up. So to clean this, you can use like water and a little rubbing alcohol, or just rubbing alcohol, anything, whatever works. I'm going to try 91% isopropyl alcohol. Sometimes using like a lower percentage helps because the added water helps dissolve stuff depending on what's spilled on it. But here you can see we can kind of clean this off. And now I use the dry side of the paper towel if you're wondering. Okay, everything else over here looks okay. I don't think liquid got to this part. It looked like it's mostly, yeah, this side looks fine. There's dust, but not much else. So we'll clean out the dust here. Okay, and yeah, this connector looks fine. This connector, okay, that side's just plastic, so this looks perfectly fine. And again, I don't know these tiny connectors are all for touch bar, maybe? Touch bar? I don't know. Alright, maybe fingerprint sensor, touch bar. I mean, all of these. You got, what is that? There's nothing attached there. So this must all be like fingerprint sensor and touch bar stuff. Okay. And yeah, alright. So I'm going to clean the motherboard off now. Hopefully the battery's okay. There was like water on it, and you can actually see water made it over here because this turned slightly pink. I'm going to actually see if I can scrape that little thingy off, just because I don't like leaving those in there once they've changed colors. Oops, sorry. I'm just scraping this thing up. And it actually leaves some residue behind that it looks like you can't really get off. Let me see, can I try cleaning it with a rubbing alcohol a little bit? Yeah, it's just made like a white dot there. Okay, so I guess you can't really scrape these off. Is that part of the sticker? No, I don't know. Let me try with the tweezers. Maybe. I don't know, it turned all silver now. It's like etched in there now, so anyways, looks like that doesn't come off. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Alright, I'm going to clean the motherboard up. Basically, I'm going to use warm water, scrub it with a toothbrush, get all that corrosion off, and then I'm going to dry it out with my electric air blower. I'm going to peel this up and see if I can clean this. I just want to kind of turn it over so it's easier to have access to. And I'm going to try brushing this, but I doubt this is going to be repairable. This looks completely toast. There's like burnt ash getting on my fingers just from cleaning this off. Alright, I'm going to try a little rubbing alcohol on it, and we'll see if a miracle can happen, but we might have to, I mean, if anything, we can replace that cable. But if that cable prevents the thing from turning on, then that's a different story. Okay, so we're just going to try and clean this up, just so it's not shorted. Basically, you don't want the pins kind of connecting to each other, because that's not what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to be separate. Okay, just like that, and we'll brush this off. Of course, it's still burnt. You can't clean burn off. But let me see if I can show you this now, close up. Come on, focus. Focus. Stop focusing on the case and focus on this. Alright, there you go. You can see close up. Pretty burnt, these pins for the trackpad. So we'll see what happens. Alright, anyways, I'm going to clean the motherboard as mentioned. I'm going to use warm water, toothbrush, scrub all the corrosion off, dry it off really well. I'm probably going to leave it overnight just to completely dry. I don't want to put it back while it's wet. And then I will see you guys tomorrow. For you guys, it'll just be a few seconds. Alright, see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing back together. Again, I don't think it's going to work because this thing is actually, you can see the board is discolored. That means most likely it's burnt underneath, which is not good. Alright, but we cleaned up all this stuff here. You can see it's a lot better. But again, I'm doubting it's going to work. Alright, we got that. That's all cleaned up here as well. Okay, let's get this thing back together and see if we got a tiny bit of luck. Alright, we're going to get the charge ports back in first. Let me actually zoom in here. Okay, so these you just get back in. Alright, I don't remember which screws we used where, but I think these are T5. Okay. Alright, and you kind of want to hold that into place as you tighten the screws down. If you want, you can even plug in the charger into it while you plug it in, or while you screw it in. You can get like any USB-C thing here, and we can just like plug that in just to make sure it's a nice solid fit. All right, looks good. And then you can kind of pull it back slightly as you tighten the screws in. All right, so we got the charge ports back into place. Okay, there's a lot of components, so hopefully we're gonna be able to get everything back in properly. We'll get the Logicboard or motherboard. Of course, you have to kind of lift everything out, so this can be a little tricky. There's the 3 cables here, wireless antennas. All right, and we're gonna slide this in first. Okay, so I like to slide it upwards in this way first, and then the rest of the stuff here I can kind of worry about afterwards. So there we go, we got that. Get the battery cable back on top. Oh shoot, this one's gonna be tough. This cable, okay, oh there we go. Okay, get that back out. Trackpad cable. I'm gonna use a little plastic tool to help with this. We're gonna pull the, I believe that's the keyboard cable, and this little cable out as well, and drop that into place, and hopefully we got everything. So there's the speaker connector, we don't need that. Is the, oops, I think we trapped the fan connector under there, so get that out as well. Yeah, there's a lot of cables here, so we're gonna kind of rotate it out that direction. All right, okay, now you want to check everywhere there's a connector that there's something going to go into there. All right, that. All right, I think we got all of it. Hopefully we didn't miss anything. Okay, and then we're going to start just snapping components back in and putting back the connectors. Okay, so we're going to get this one, line it up, and just click that into place. Can be a little tricky. You might have to look at different angles to try and get that in. All right, it's hard to actually film this because I need to see what I'm doing, and it's hard to make sure you guys see what needs to be seen, but just get it lined up. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, that's gonna be hard to show. Let me see if I can somehow, there we go. Oops, sorry. So I did was I got this connector, and then I kind of just moved the board around till it lined up. You can actually feel it somewhat drop into place, and then you can push that down. And I'm gonna actually put these screws in first just to help it line things up. Right, same thing with these 2 connectors. Get that lined up, and this one lined up. All right. A little bit tricky here again. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys are able to figure that out. Okay, I think I need to switch over to the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver and get this L bracket, or whatever this edge corner bracket thingy is. Get that over there. And I'm gonna actually loosely fit the screws first. I don't want to tighten it down yet. That way we can move it around and adjust it as necessary. Okay. All right, let's tighten that down. Good. All right, so those connectors are all in place. All right, let's continue getting all these other connectors in place. Maybe I should zoom in more for you guys. I don't know if that's more helpful or not. Let me get this cable in. I like to kind of use my fingernail to pull the connector back, so that way when it drops into place, then it will kind of just go in as well by itself. All right, and this piece keeps falling off, so let me make sure this is lined up right. Looks good, and then I slide my finger over to latch it down. If you want, you can put this piece back, but looks like the tape that kind of holds it is just broken off, so it's probably just going to come back out. All right, we got the wireless antennas here. Line that up. You'll know it's lined up because when it's on right, if you try to move it around, it kind of stays in place. Then you can go ahead and click it down. Same thing. Here we go. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna get confused with these screws, I think. Okay, let's switch over to T5 again. Let's get this cable in. Okay, once that's in, slide your finger over to latch it back down. There we go. Got the other one over here. We're going to do the same thing. Line it up, pull it into place, and slide your finger over to latch it down. Alright, make sure to get the LCD LVDS connector in as well. It's a very important one. Okay, click that down. And again, we're going to have to use a T3 and a T4 for this. So we're going to use the T3 for this little metal piece here. The thinner side actually goes face down. As you can see, there's two pads on there. The thinner one goes face down. Okay, to push the cable into place. Right, again, we're using the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver for this. Get the other one. Okay, I'll put this into place. Alright, and we'll tighten that down. And tighten this down. There we go. We're going to now switch over to the T4. The only thing that used T4, this bracket here. You can possibly get away with using a T3, but you want to be very careful. Make sure you're not actually stripping the screw. Okay, because if you do, then you're never going to get it out again. So we're going to use the T4 for this. And this can be a little tricky. I like to actually use the metal bracket to kind of help guide the screw. So we get the screw in. Okay, and I'll hold this to kind of line it up and get that in. There we go. Then we can leave that slightly loose and get the second screw. Line that up. Okay, and tighten that down. There we go. Oh, come on, there we go. Alright, make sure that's nice and tight. And then we're done with the T4 for now. I think we don't need it anymore, actually. Okay, what's next? We got the Trackpad Connector here. So the touchpad or trackpad, whatever you want to call it. If you want, you can actually also lift it up a little bit and line it up. So the way I line it up is I kind of go to keep this side flat first, and then I work my way down here. Okay. All right, we're going to get this back in. I believe these are T3 screws, if I remember correctly. Again, I did this like last night, like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 3, something like that, 3 to 5 a.m. Anyways. Wait, is this T5? Oh, that's actually a T5. Okay, no wonder why. Okay, so these screws were T5 or Torx 5 screws. There we go. Second one. Okay. Flip that latch down. Good. Alright. Get this in. Okay. Up. Slide that in. Good. Alright, what else we got? Fan connector over here. All these connectors basically go in the same way. You peel up this plastic tab a little bit, pull the connector back, get it into the slot, use the plastic thing to help guide it in. Okay, and then once it's in, just slide your finger over the latch to lock it back down, and then take that thing back down. Okay, click this back into place. All right, what else we got here? We had that weird screw. It's like a nut or bolt that holds the fan or heatsink into place, so we're gonna get that. Okay, before we forget. And we'll get that in. Okay. There we go. Oh, is this thing coming out? Make sure the rubber piece stays in there. There we go. Alright, that's good. Done with that piece. We're gonna get this one now. Okay. I think we're gonna need the T3 for this. Okay. We have the super long screw for this bottom one. Okay, again, we just loosely fit it, and then the short one up here going into that other screw that we just put in. Good. Tighten that all down. Okay, now we got this here. Get this plate back into place. I have the slightly bigger screw here. Oh, I think I need the T5 again. Alright, screw in. Alright, again, I just loosely fit it. We'll get the second screw here. Line it up. And tighten that down. Good, and now we can tighten the other one down. Okay, I think we got all the connectors in except the speakers now. So let's go ahead and get the first speaker in. This one, the screw's in there already. You have to kind of go in at an angle for those pieces, okay? And we'll get this connector in. Slide that latch, flap that latch down. Okay, I think we need, okay, actually that's right. All right, tighten that down. Again, we're gonna loosely fit it first to make sure everything's fitting right. That, and this last one. And this one. All right, there we go. And we'll tighten those into place. All right, let's get the other speaker into place on this side. Same thing, goes in at an angle. Okay, pull this connector back, get that in, slide that into place. Actually, there's a little corrosion on there we gotta clean off. Okay, all right, let's get that connector back in. Good, slide that latch down, or flip that latch down. Okay, let's get these back in. I am going to have to get the charger here because I don't have it with me right now. I was using it to test another computer. But, let's get this back in. Okay, good. All right, let's get the motherboard screws in. So we got one up here in this corner. All right. We got one down here. This, all right. Come on, go in, please. I might have to adjust the position of the motherboard because, oh wait, no, there we go. Okay, thought it wasn't lining up right for some reason. Alright, get the screw, come on, get in there. It's awkward because they make the hole in the motherboard like long, but the screws actually go like up towards the top of the hole. Okay, got this screw here. Alright, and then we got the one for the wireless antennas and the little plastic thing that goes on top. Okay, So again, we have the triangle part that will go here, and then these two notches that will go over the wireless antennas here. So it goes like this, and you kind of just line it up with the angle edge of this metal piece there. Okay, and stick that down. There we go. All right, all that's left is to reconnect the battery, and then we will plug it in, and hopefully we'll have a sign of good luck, but I think it might be dead. All right, so we'll tighten this screw into place. Line that up. Tighten this screw down. All right. Once we got that, we're going to get this cable in. And we pretty much got everything reassembled. Let's get this back in. Come on. There we go. Make sure that cable is in. You will see a little bit of the gold part of the connector sticking out, just like all the others. That's normal. All right, and then while you're holding that, slide the latch down, put that over, and then get this tape thing back in. I like to line up this circle with that screw to make it easier. And then you just flip it over, and then this runs along the edge here. All right, so stick that in. Okay, now we're moment of truth. We're gonna put this cover on. I'm not gonna slide the thing back in yet because we're just testing it first. All right, let me actually get a charger here. I don't think it's gonna work, so right now nothing, but let me get the charger and plug it in, and I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and plug this in and see if the trackpad will even click. Usually that's a sign of it turning on. So far nothing, but the trackpad cable is burnt, so I have a feeling even if it was working, it's not going to do anything. Yeah. Actually, is it clicking now? No. Actually. Huh. Yeah, nothing's happening. And oh, trackpad's clicking actually. Interesting. But nothing's on the screen, nothing's happening. So I think it's dead, but you can actually hear the trackpad clicking. So that means there's power actually flowing through the trackpad, and the trackpad is actually on. But yeah, nothing's on the screen. There's no sound, no touch bar. Just command. Nope. What about? Nope. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's toast. It's not doing anything. Let me see. Let's try the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And then let go and keep holding this 1, 2. Okay, that responded. So it's responding to the DFU mode thing, but yeah, other than that, it looks like it's completely dead. Anyways, yeah, now the trackpad turned off after doing that. So let's see if holding the power button will reset it. Because normally it'll start showing something on the screen, but there's nothing there. Yeah, and now it's dead again. Nothing, no clicking. All right, anyways, let's put the bottom cover back on normally the way it should go. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop this off. Okay, I didn't slide it in, but normally you have to slide this in. So the way you do that, you line up the edges on the side, and the little hooks go in here where the air vent are. So you wanna hold that side down and slide it up. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. Slide it up. It is a little uneven, so we gotta kind of move it over. Actually, let's take this back out to fix that. Okay, make sure to get that lined up, and then slide that in place. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Line that up and slide that in place. Wow, this thing is like tough. What is going on here? Okay, slide that back. There we go. Okay, hold that down, and I'm actually using my thumb here to slide it up into place. Looks good. All right, let's snap everything back down and get the Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screws back in, and we're good to go. Alright, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thanks for watching. You're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws. I'm going to flip it back over and see if pushing the button does anything at all, but I think it's completely dead. Yeah, I don't know if putting it in like DFU mode and stuff would allow you to recover data. It might. I'll have to see. I haven't really tried that before, but apparently there's a way to put the computer into a DFU mode and you can use another MacBook to kind of access it. So we'll see. Anyways, let's see. Flip this over and yeah, the trackpad's clicking again, but nothing's on the screen. You can hear it. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.